Good morning everyone, myself Professor Bhavik Panchal, right, and we will discuss today on the topic that is market type and cost analysis. First of all we need to understand the concept of market, right. What is the concept of market? Every day we hear lots of things that gold market, financial market, retail market, auto car market, right. So there are different kind of market, but first of all we need to understand the concept of market, right. What is the definition of market? What we call the market, right. So here the definition of market is given. Market is a place, it is a physical place where the buyers and the sellers, means buyers who is going to buy the things, and sellers means they are going to sell their product for earning the profit of a good or services, are in a contact with each other, right. Buyers and sellers are continuously contact with each other to sell and buy the goods. This contact may be direct or indirect, right. It is not necessary, means if I want to buy or sell the product, I need to contact directly the customer or the seller, right. Sometimes nowadays it is a very popular trend that online shopping, right. Most of the young generation and the people are going to do the online shopping, right. They see the product on the online or the web portal of the particular sites, for example eBay, Home Shop 18, Snapdeal, right. There are many of the sites, and they are purchasing from that site any product by viewing or by touching or feeling that particular product, right. So we can say that the customer or buyer or seller do not meet directly, but they are indirectly meet, and hence they are purchasing or selling the product, right. So that is the indirect selling. Sometimes if we need something, right, so we are generally going to in any particular shops, right, and we are watching the product and all that, and see the what are the scenario, right, and then we buy or purchase the things, or seller sell the things, right. So we can say that that is a direct market, right. So these two kinds of market, direct and indirect. Now these are the market structure, right. There are different kind of market structure, right. First one, pure competition, monopolistic competition, oligopolies and monopolies, right. These are the basic market structure, right, and these are the basis. On this basis market structures are going to be decided. For example, these are the characteristics: number of firms, right, how many numbers of firms are there in the market, right. So on the basis of that we can say that that particular market is pure monopoly, oligopoly and all that. Type of product, which type of product they are producing, right. So it is also one characteristic. Easy of entry, right, it is also one characteristic ki how easy the entry in particular market segment. Oligopoly, monopoly, monopolistic competition and pure competition. Market power and price control, right. This one is also most important, कि how much market power a firm has, right, and price control, how much a firm can control the price, right. So that is also important characteristic of market structure. We will discuss all the market structures in detail. First one is perfect or pure competition, right. Here a word itself suggests that pure competition means there are a cutthroat competition in the market. There are many sellers and many buyers, right, and there is a free entry. Anyone can start a business or anyone can exit from the business, right. Here large number of firms, right, there are large number of firms, they are producing and selling their product. The products are homogeneous, means if I am a seller of one product, the another seller can produce same product, right. That is a homogeneous. As we discussed ahead, easy entry and exit. The entry and exit are very easy, right. Everyone or anyone can start a business or anyone can exit from the business. So it is a entry and exit is a very easy. No market power means no firms has a market power. All firms have equal market power, and there is a pure competition between all the firms, right. So ultimately the benefit of the competition getting to the customer side. Perfect information, right. There is a perfect information. If I don't like any product from one seller, I will switch immediately switch to the other seller, right? So that is a perfectly competition between the all the firms, right? Examples, most important example is from agriculture product. There are many farmers who are producing wheat, corn and so many crop, right? So we can say that is a pure competition. If anybody not want to produce, right, he or she can, right? So that is a pure competition. For example, there are many of the things, Colgate toothpaste, right, Pepsodent toothpaste. So that particular field is pure competition field, right? So anyone can produce their product and anyone can exit without any prior commitment. So that particular market structure is pure competition. Next one is monopoly, right? Monopoly means majority of the percentage covered by any one field, right? For example, if any field would be there, so 90 to 80% field covered by the only one firm, right? See, one firm is there, right? Unique product, their product is unique, means no other firm can produce such kind of unique product. Blocked entry means it is very hard to entry in a particular monopoly field, right? So if there is a less entry, automatically the power of particular sector, or we can say that power of particular firm will be increased. So the price maker, market power, if any firm has a market power, so we can say that they can decide the price whatever they want to commit from the customer. Examples, what are the examples of monopoly? So local utilities, for example, we can say that electricity, right? In some of the area, right, there are one electricity player will be there, right? There is no other electricity player in particular area, right? So we have to buy a particular electricity from that particular person only, right? In monopoly we need to understand one thing, right? That is there should be no substitute of particular product, right? Sometimes I hear the example of railway, right? But remember, railway have a substitute of buses, airways, right, by sea. So there are lots of substitute of railway, right? So we cannot say that railway has a monopoly in a transport system, right? Oligopoly. In oligopoly, few large firms, right, cover whole mostly market segments. Few firms means here you can see the picture of car, right? So there are a few car company, for example Honda, Hyundai, Bajaj, right? So they are cover entire market, or we can say 80 to 90% market, right? So that type of market structure called oligopoly. Standardized or differentiate product, maybe their product are standardized or differentiate, means one firm product is other than the different second firm product, right? Significant barriers to entry, sometimes they are allowing the entry and sometimes they are not allowing the entry, means it is called significant barrier to entry. Again, market power interdependent, means one firm is dependent to another firm, right? Means for example, one firm is increasing the price, so other firms can be increasing or can be not, right? They are mutually decided by one other company. For example, here Hyundai or Tata. So if Hyundai company is increasing the price of car, right, so Tata also will increasing the price of car, right? So we can say that that is a interdependent on Hyundai and Tata also. These are the examples: steel industries, oil industries and automobile industries. If we can talk about steel industries, there are very few players. For example, SR Steel, Tata Steel are there, right? So there are limited firms, so few large firms, right? So that condition is also satisfied, and they are going to cover 80 to 90% of the market, right? Oil industries, right? So nowadays in India there are 3 or 4 major players in the market. For example, Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, Indian Oil, right? Reliance. So there are 4 or 5 few firms, they are covering 80 to 90% area of the market. Automobile industry, as we discussed ahead, right, in India there are very few players, right, for example Hyundai, Honda, right, Toyota and many more, but there are a limited number of firms, they are producing their product. So these are the characteristic of the market, it is called oligopoly. Next one is monopolistic competition. Here a large number of firms, in monopolistic competition a large number of firms, but the thing is similar but differentiate product. They are producing similar product, but each product are differentiate from the other product, right. Low barriers to entry means there are very low barriers, anyone can entry to the market and anyone can exit to the market, the barriers are very low. Market power, again limited market power means if I want to place my price, so I am not able to give my price to the market because I have a limited market power, and which product I am producing, there are lots of firms, right, who are already producing that product. So if I am increasing my price, so my customer base will shift to the another firm, right. So it is called limited market power. Examples: restaurants, hotels, right. So these are the monopolistic competition. For example, in restaurants, hotels, right, if one hotel is producing paneer tikka sabji, right, so another hotel can be producing paneer tikka sabji, right. So here again this condition should be satisfied. Similar, they are producing similar product, but they are differentiated with each other, right, because if I am particular selecting one restaurant, so I like that the food of the particular restaurant, right, so then the other hotel, right. So that is the concept of monopolistic competition. Some of the pictures, right, Colgates, these are the Subway, right, these are the some pictures, railway, crude oil, electricity, crop, these are the pictures of different segment. Reynolds. Now another topic is cost analysis. So first of all we need to understand the meaning of cost, right. We already listen lots of things about cost. We hear that particular XYZ firm has a profit this much of crore, right, but we need to understand the concept of cost, right, and what is the difference between cost and profit. So there are a vast difference, but first of all we need to understand what is the cost. Cost means the amount of money that a company spends on the creation or production of goods and services, right. So first of all we need to understand the definition of the cost. Cost means the amount of money, right, whatever the amount consumed by a particular owner or particular company on production of goods and services, right. It cannot be only goods, there are services also, right. So there are also cost to the services. Okay, now we understand the different concept of cost: short run cost, long run cost. So we need to understand the meaning of short run cost and long run cost. The difference between the short run and the long run is the flexibility decision make. Have short means a long run means there are variable inputs are there, that means all inputs are variable, right, they are vary each other in the long run. Short run means period of time in which the quantity of at least one input, right. So first of all we need to understand what are the inputs of the production, right. So there are 4M: market, machine, material, right, and money, right. So they are the input. Again we can consider the factor of production, right, land, labor, capital and entrepreneur, they are the input for the production. So in a short run there is at least one input will be fixed, and other quantity of other inputs can be varied, means one input will be fixed and other variables will be vary from each other, so that can we call short run cost. In long run, period of time in which the quantity of all inputs can be varied, right? So in the long run, all inputs, for example land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, they can vary from the each other. Short run cost, the cost which incurred over a short run, means it will for only short run, right? In the long run, the cost which incurred over the long run or long period of time. Now implicit cost and explicit cost. Implicit cost means business expense that easily identified and accounted for, right? A person can easily identify the particular cost. For example, if I am running any industry, so I can easily find out that I have to pay electricity bill, I have to pay salary to my employees, right? I have to pay for purchasing material, so I can easily understand the cost, so that is the implicit cost. For example, wages, expenses, rent, lease cost and cost of material, so these are I can easily identify, so that cost it is called explicit cost. Now implicit cost, right, it is also through as intangible cost, they are not easily accounted, we cannot easily identify that particular cost. For example, if I am a owner of the company, so if I am working hard for my company, right, so that particular thing no one can identify that. If my employees are also working hard for that, so no one can identify, right? So implicit cost means no one can easily identify that particular cost, right? So that is called implicit cost. Economies of scale. Economy of scales exist when the production cost of a single product decrease with the number of unit produced. It means when we are producing number of unit, or we can say in a large bulk, right, so the cost of the particular thing or particular unit will be decrease. For example, if I am producing 1 unit of this watch, it will cost 100 rupees to me, right? But if I am producing 100 unit of this watch, so it will cost will decrease. That is called economies of scale. Economies of scale is about the benefit gained by the production of a large volume. As we say earlier, in business, economies of scale are usually considered in relation to specific of the production process, which may be technical, managerial, marketing, finance and risk bearing. These are the process, right? So means ultimately the summary of economies of scale is when we are producing in large number, right, the cost of the particular unit will be decreased. Diseconomies scale means opposite of economic scale, right? When we are producing in the large number, the per unit cost will be increased, right? So diseconomies of scale is about the disadvantage faced by the production large volume of product, means a particular firm can produce a very small number of product, right, and ultimately they will gain the benefit. In business, diseconomy of scale are usually due to decision making, right, the problem in decision making, managerial problems, ordinary problem, right, control problems and staffing problems, right? These are the problems where the firm is going to face the diseconomy of scale. There are two more costs, private cost and social cost. Private cost means monetary cost which firm incur the production of a good, right? When a firm produce any goods, right, so there are many of the cost, right, so it is called private cost. Social cost means society has to pay for that. Real cost which the society incur in the production of good, for example pollution from a factory, right? So society has to face such kind of problem, right? So that is called social cost. Okay, thank you sir.